Hello the internet, hope you're all well, thanks for stopping by. Another week, another online time trial in Gran Turismo 7, and this time we're at the Nurburgring GP in, well, I'm just going to call it the RX-7. This week to get gold we're looking for a sub 2 minute 5, currently it stands at 2 minutes and 4.911. So let's see what we can do to help you get 2 million credits and that gold standard time. All of my assists are off except ABS, which is set to default. I'm using a manual gear stick and I'm playing this on a full sim rig using a Moser R12 wheelbase. As always, to help you out, I've uploaded my fastest lap so that you can download it from the showcase section and use it as a ghost to race against. Go to content search, under content type put replays and search for a keyword of my name, Tough Monkey. This should list all of the videos I've uploaded to the Gran Turismo server. It's that one in the top right corner, so if you click on that and go down to collection and then click on that, you can now access it from your game screen. Go down to Ghost settings, go to load Ghost, go across one to collection, and then it should be listed there. Click the fastest one and then that'll download it into your game and you can race against it. As always, I'm going to show you 2 laps. The first is the step-by-step guide, the second will be a clean run through without me talking. We're going to start off coming out to the final corner because we need a clean exit. We want to be going across that start-finish line with as much momentum as we possibly can. In fact, the lap I'm finishing now was my fastest lap, so I'm on a good vein of form just here. So we're heading down to the first corner, big braking zone at the end of this long straight. I'm looking for a braking reference just here, just as I get to the end of that bit of tarmac on the left, and I'm going all the way down to first. I'm letting the engine braking slow the car down. You can see as I lift off the brake here, the car starts to rotate around. I move up to second gear as I apex here, let the car push out wide, being careful to make sure that the back end doesn't step out too much. I briefly go up to third gear, but immediately come back down to second. I take quite a wide entry into this corner because I want to straighten up the exit to get the power down, otherwise the car will push out wide and go off the track and pick up a penalty on the right here. I'm up to third, and then there's no real braking references, just purely down to feel here. I'm going to drop it down to first gear, and as I lift off the brake, the car rotates around and I move back up to second gear. Not too heavy on the throttle, I'm going to move up to third gear here, cut as much of this corner here as I dare without picking up a penalty, and back on the throttle as soon as we can. You can go right off the track here provided you get back on at this point, and then we just accelerate down the hill down towards the next braking reference, which is at the end of this bit of tarmac just here. I'm going to drop it down to second gear. You'll see the car goes light as I turn in, and it helps bring the car around. Found if I stuck in third gear, it just wanted to understeer a little bit. We're onto the brakes for this right hand corner here. I'm dropping it to second. You'll see the car start to rotate around, and as we put the throttle back down, I'm going to go up to third gear and let the car wander right out to the left side of the track. Be careful under throttle here because the back end does want to step out, just be careful of that. We're going to head down the hill to a very important braking reference. It's just as we enter onto this little rumble strip on the left hand side here. We're going to stand on the brakes. I'm going to drop it all the way down to second gear. You can go down to first, but it will rotate the back end of the car rapidly, so you'd need to be aware of that. I'm going to be back onto half throttle and then straight back up to third gear long before I apex and let the car wander out to the left hand side of the track. We need to get as much momentum coming out of that corner as possible because it's uphill all the way from here. Get over onto the right hand side and swing it in. I'm already into fourth gear. The temptation is to keep it into third gear, but bringing it up to fourth helps keep control of the back end of the car. And I think this was the only lap I ever went full throttle through that chicane section. We're going to bring the car back over to the right hand side of the track and looking for a reference in the middle of this tarmac on the right side here. I don't want to go too deep into this corner. I want to be down to second gear, let the car rotate around. You either fully commit to going over the green strip on the left hand side there or avoid the curb. Let the car wander out to the right, but be careful, the back end will go light and it will want to twitch. Important braking zone here because you need a good angle of entry into this corner. We need to get back out on the throttle as soon as you can. Let the car drift out to the left hand side, use all of the track available to you. We need as much momentum as we can for this long run up to the chicane. Nothing much to do at the moment except cut this right hand kink as much as you can, shave a few thousandths of a second off, and then you're thinking about your braking point into the chicane. Just after the tarmac colour changes, I'm going to take a beat and then I'm onto the brakes here. Long before we get to the 100 metre board, I'm bringing it down to second gear, and at this point here I'm starting to turn in. I want to cut as much of this curb as I can. Any more than this and you're going to pick up a penalty. And be careful of when the car lands. It can go anywhere. Sometimes it will dart off to the left, so be ready to react to however it lands. Then we're going to get the left wheels right up onto this curb here. We need a good angle of entry into this last right-hander here. Too deep and you'll lose 3 or 4 tenths of a second, too tight and you won't be able to get back on the throttle quick enough. This is a good line, back up to 3rd gear and start to apply the throttle and let the car wander right out to the left-hand side of the circuit. And then it's just a matter of the quick dart to the line and hopefully you've got your gold standard time. There we go, I'm going to shut up now and let you watch the next lap through without me talking. I'll catch you at the end. So there we go, that is a sub 2 minute 4 time and that will be a gold standard and 2 million credits. Hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, do consider a like, comment and a subscribe and I shall see you on the next video. Take it easy.